Hello, Internet, and welcome to Scoreboard, your morning report. Good morning, hockey fans, and welcome to the Thursday, March 16th version of the morning report, Scoreboard. I guess we're trying to recover from yesterday's disaster here with our technology stuff, so let's see how we are doing in that department. Wednesday, March 15th, NHL, Buffalo 4 at Washington 5 in a shootout. Sabres got a point, but you can't go a point at a time. Colorado 2 at Toronto 1 in a shootout, you know, that coin toss thing they do at the end of the game. I guess you have to be happy when you take the defending Stanley Cup champions when you're tied. Not a bad effort by the Leafs at all. Minnesota 8, St. Louis 5, and the Islanders over Anaheim Ducks 6-3. Big game tonight for the Ottawa Senators. Colorado continues their trek through Eastern Canada, 7 p.m. Tonight. Toronto win allows them to remain, I think, 3 points ahead of Tampa Bay now. So that's how things are stacking up there for that second spot in the East. Here's a look at our Hot 15. Connor McDavid. I don't know. I think he can. He's just settled permanently in that spot. He just consistently scores. Last 10 games, 12 goals, 12 assists for 24 points. Mitch Marner, 4 goals, 16. McDavid's partner in crime, Leon Draisaitl, 10 goals, 5 assists in those 15 games. And Claude Giroux from Ottawa, former Cumberland grad, by the way, in the CCHL, played for Mark Grady, I believe, at the time. Claude Giroux, last 10 games, 5 goals, 8 assists. In the queue, last night, Halifax 6 over Lackady Bathurst. No, our man Evan Boucher did not score in that game. Excuse me. Tonight, Peterborough's in North Bay. That's with Gavin White. And Friday, Hamilton plays at Flint. I think Hamilton and Peterborough are now tied, 70 points each. Pete's have 2 games in hand. Pete's, meanwhile, tonight, they're still in the north, and they're playing Sudbury at 7 o'clock. Hockey East, fixing up that misprint from yesterday. BU is at Providence on Friday at 4 o'clock. CCHL schedule. Last night, Hawkesbury 7 at Pembroke 3. That game really wasn't a 7-3 game. And neither was the Carleton Place 7-4 over Kempville. Kempville, you know, they've had 2 games in a row when they could have nailed that 8th and final playoff spot, and they haven't been able to do it. They brought that game back within, I think, 4-3 and maybe 5-4, but Carleton Place outlasted them and 7-4 winners. Big one tonight down at the Ed Lumley. Renfrew Wolves playing against Cornwall. This is Cornwall's last game of the regular season. They need a win or they're out. A win puts them temporarily in that 8th and final playoff spot. That'll give them a 1-point edge over Kempville. Friday night, it's a big night in the CCHL. Important for everybody. In fact, all of those games are key and impact. Carleton plays at Navan. Well, Navan's going to finish second, but Carleton Place, they're tied with, well, we'll get to that when we get to the standings. Renfrew, Ottawa's in Brockville. That's a tough one for the Braves, you know. Ottawa's alone in first place. They've been the team all year. But you know what's surprising fact? Brockville has played twice in Ottawa and lost both those games. And Ottawa has played in Brockville twice, and the Braves have been victorious in those games. I think it was 2-1 in overtime. Braves won first game, and then the second time it might have been 5-2 or 5-3. Rockland at Hawkesbury. There's a biggie. Rockland needs a win to stay in contention for that 8th spot. Hawkesbury, important for their survival, for positioning. And then Smith Falls is at Kempville. Not a big impact on Smith Falls. But boy, once again, Kempville has a chance to seal the deal. Can they do it? Let's see how the standings have been impacted with last night and currently. So let's take a look here at our Brockville Braves, still hanging in there with 66 points. Carleton Place, with their win last night, tied the Braves with 66 points. And Renfrew is one behind at 65. Looking down at the Iserman division, we see Hawkesbury, 63 points. What? 63, 65, 66, 66. What a battle heading into the last weekend of the season is for spots 4, 5, 6, and 7. In red, we can see that Kempville's hanging in with 56. And I say hanging in because they've had, as I mentioned, 2 chances to seal the deal and haven't been able to come through. Looking down at Iserman division standings, Cornwall and Rockland. Look at this. 55 points for the Colts. They play their last game tonight. Rockland, 3 games left to play, and they are at 52 points. So they could potentially end up with 58. So that's a battle for the 8th and final playoff spot. Sunday night probably be the first time we all get a chance to see who's ended up where. Over a little further on the right, I've got 2 numbers circled in red. Look at this. Brockville, goals against 146. Navan, goals against 146. This is a pretty strong statement about the quality of the goaltending for the Braves. That's Sammy Malu and Phil Rondina. They've flip-flopped back and forth in terms of being the player of the week, the honorable mention player of the week. Sammy leaves in shutouts in the league. And Phil was within 5 minutes of getting back-to-back shutouts last weekend, and he's had a great season. He hasn't played a heck of a lot, but boy, when he's been in there, they've been in the game. I remember Danny Voseler saying the complexion of the game changed when Phil came on the ice. That was in a Braves loss, I think 6-3 to Carleton Place. And you know, this isn't the first year where the Braves goaltending has been spectacular. We go back, Jake Begley, Everson, Clark Saunders, you name it. It doesn't matter how many years you go back. Braves goaltending has been really strong. Well, that's it for this morning, folks. We'll be back tomorrow with the end of, I think this might be our 7th week of doing this show. So we'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Thanks very much.